and here is a retro spot on Visionaries Knights in the Magical Light, Spectral Knights, Cryotek. Cryotek was established in the show as kind of the veteran warrior kind of thing. He was well respected by the rest of the Spectral Knights. Sometimes he was teased because he wasn't very bright. He was the Spectral Knight's equivalent of Sindar. But he was well respected, a very large knight. He was the tallest of all of them. We have a look at the figure here. A very generic looking character. The head, I mean, there's nothing too special there. He's got the lighter blue and red color scheme of the knights. His red I think is very similar. In fact, it might even be the exact same red as Witherquick. His totem, which again has some wear down at the bottom here, but his totem was that of a grizzly bear, so he could project himself and turn into this giant, maybe, I don't know, 9 foot, 10 foot grizzly bear. Very, very strong. He was very hard to control when he was a grizzly bear. I know the Darkling Lords tried at one point to subdue him, and he was wreaking havoc kind of thing. They always established a relationship between Cryotek and Galandria. I don't know if it was like lovers. I know not lovers for a cartoon, but maybe more or less like an older brother and sister kind of thing. Even though I think Cryotek, it seemed like they played him up like he had a crush on her kind of thing. But there's your figure. He also came with a helmet. One of the nicer of the helmets, I have to admit as well. Put the helmet on here. The helmet always reminds me of the very beginning of the Visionaries intro, or during the intro of the cartoon. You see like a side profile of Cryotek, and you don't see his face, you only just see like the helmet part, and then he's summoning the power of might or strength, and you see this giant guy with a bow and arrow standing behind him, and then Cryotek basically puts up his hand and goes like this, and then the archer shoots his arrow. Very, very cool at the beginning of that cartoon. Visionaries has one of my favorite cartoon intros. I know they always spent a little bit more on the intros of the cartoons, especially back in the 80s, and they go all out with the animation and everything else, but Visionaries is probably, if not one of my favorite, maybe my favorite intro of cartoon intros of all time. But there you have the figure. We'll just put him down aside for a second. His weapon was, I don't know, what would you call that? A cat of 9 tails, but maybe only with 3. Is that a cat of 3 tails? But it was kind of like a mace with 3 spiked balls on the end there. And his power staff was, of course, that of strength. I don't know if I said strength in a past review or if I said might, but I think you can see it there. There's the god or the summon of might there, and his summon was that of 3 suns align. I think is it pour forth? Yeah, 3 suns align, pour forth their might, and fill the archer's bow with might. And then his summon was, like I was saying, a giant. Probably about the size of invulnerability and destruction. I mean, this guy was just huge, and he had a giant bow and arrow, and he would shoot his arrow, and then that was the spell, and then the arrow would, whatever it hit would, just disintegrate or just destroy everything. It's unfortunate though, because I think it was used in one episode where he fired strength, the bow, or he fired the arrow at destruction and he destroyed it. But aside from that, they always had him use his spell, and then the archer would fire the bow, and then next thing you know, Lexor would use his staff of invulnerability, and it would just like be like the two would cancel one another out. So it always seemed like a wasted staff spell, especially for the fact that you can only use it once. But there's his staff, very nice. If we have a look at his file card, which I still have, there is a nice picture of Cryotek on the side with the grizzly bear totem. And then it says Cryotek, a self-sacrificing warrior who will charge blindly into battle without a thought of his own safety. Mystical personality is the bear, symbolizing an imposing mass of sheer brawn and muscle. And his magical totem is Cryotek utilizes his special power of strength to single-handedly tear down the Darkling Lord's defense. And there we have the summon of strength with a nice sticker over top there. And then there, of course, is his summon. Very nice. And Visionaries on the back there. Really nice figure. I don't really have to say too much. I am glad that I got all of them. They're, like I said, one of my favorite of the toy lines back in the 80s. But there you have a retro spot on Visionaries, Knights of the Magical Light, Spectral Knights, Cryotek. And I'll see you guys next time.